They thought it was an immigration sweep. It became the blueprint for dismantling an interstate cartel. This story starts with a Minneapolis confrontation and explodes into simultaneous federal warrants across 6 states at exactly 4 a.m. Inside, breach teams in northern Minnesota, drug seizures in Milwaukee, and high-risk arrests in Chicago apartments. We'll follow the evidence from hotel rooms to storage units to cash-stuffed walls, then into city offices where oversight failed. Want to understand how a decade of movement from Mexico and Colombia unraveled in 72 hours? Watch the timeline, step by step. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. The knock lands, the latch clicks, and the door swings on a room that works more like a small factory than a bed for the night. Printers hum next to laminators. Cash counters sit by stacks of prepaid phones and SIM sleeves. On the dresser, a heat gun and a roll of holographic film share space with a portable photo backdrop folded into a pizza box. One desk chair, no luggage, a wastebasket full of misprints. That's not travel. That's throughput. Minutes earlier, a confrontation outside drew cameras and a crowd. Chants rose, phones up, and supervisors moved to cool the area before anything spiraled. They cut a plan that sounds routine. Quick immigration checks at nearby hotels. Get eyes on IDs, resolve overstays, and break up the pressure on the street. Elevators locked, stairwells posted, teams spread down the halls with a knock and announce rhythm they could run in their sleep. Inside the first rooms, though, the pattern slips. They expect a handful of forged work cards and expired visas. Instead, cuffs stack fast. Within 3/4 of an hour, they're counting heads. 236 detained, mostly Somali nationals, and slotting evidence into numbered bags. A compact pistol wedged under a pillow, 2 more in a nightstand safe, small baggies with off-white powder near a digital scale, and a spiral ledger that reads like a bus route for places that don't normally link on paper. Not just one city's problem. Lines between hubs. Open drawers show why the operation scales up quickly. A suitcase with a false bottom pops free after a pry, revealing blank PVC cards, state seal foils, and ribbon cartridges still in wrap. A duffel holds 8 state IDs, all with the same face cropped different, hairline shifted, dates staggered by years. In a jean pocket, a key ring carries an aluminum tag stamped with a storage company's initials and a unit number penned in black marker. The hotel rooms point outside the building. There's a reason these spots get picked. Transient lodging leaves thin footprints. According to DHS and GAO reporting on smuggling logistics, short-term rentals and hotels offer speed, anonymity, and enough churn to hide movement in plain sight. Guests rotate every day. Registration data gets stale fast. Long-term surveillance becomes guesswork, and operators shift gear between rooms without a lease or neighbors memorizing faces. For cross-border crews, that's cover you can book on an app. The tagged storage unit cracks open to heat-sealed plastic by the crate, thermal sealers, rolls of narco-grade wrap, and a binder of embossed stamps that mimic court headers. A second unit turns up stacks of money service receipts and handwritten tallies of wires split into slices under $10,000. That pattern has a name: structuring. FinCEN advisories call out repeated sub-threshold transfers, unusual remitter clusters, and round dollar bursts as red flags. Here, the slips line up like a training slide. Same senders rotating through agents. Same day, different corridors, just shy of the reporting bar. Back at the command table, analysts pull threads. They run surnames that repeat in room registries and storage contracts. Intake forms from a law office surface with the same last names tied to alternate birth dates. Alias batches linked to case numbers. Bond receipts post and clear at a pace that outstrips normal court flow, each backed by guarantors who appear across files that supposedly don't touch. The paperwork points to relationships, and relationships turn into lanes. At that point, no one says immigration sweep anymore. The brief changes: narcotics, corruption, federal scope. Teams pivot assignments while the elevators are still frozen. And those alias kits? They trace to 2 respected signatures that don't belong anywhere near a hot file. A crack that runs straight through the city's trust in who is working for whom. Why synchronize 6 states to the second? Because one tip-off can drain a network in minutes. Federal command stamps 0400 local on every door. Milwaukee stash points. Chicago apartments strung along the red line. Northern Minnesota cabins that serve as relay nodes when phones go dark and roads ice over. The directive is simple. No early knocks, no late entries, no gaps. Teams stage blocks away with engines cold, comms tight, and a single go code rippling through 6 jurisdictions at once. Everyone knows the risk isn't the doors. It's the leaks. Internal affairs and prosecutors have watched subpoenas stall and case files dead end in the same offices. Mid-level officials sit on requests. A police chief kicks a warrant back on a technicality that never mattered before. So the plan builds around silence. Warehouses, apartments, and rural outbuildings all hit at 4 o'clock. Not 3:59, not 4:01. If anyone whispers, the schedule leaves no runway for a warning to travel. Milwaukee cracks first. A 2-story with reinforced interior doors folds after a ram and a shotgun breach. Agents flow past a decoy safe stacked with small bundles meant to be found. Floorboards give under a pry, exposing a void lined with bricks. Fentanyl wrapped tight, cocaine taped in layers, meth in heat-sealed plastic. Packaging tells a story. DEA labs read tape color codes, imprint stamps pressed into bricks, and purity signatures that act like fingerprints. Those markers route shipments back along the chain to suppliers in Mexico and Colombia, tying what sits on the floor to where it was cooked, cut, and moved. Chicago turns on a separate channel. 2 high-risk entries, minutes apart. One team rides a key into a deadbolt and floods a studio, locking a suspect before he reaches the balcony. Across the block, a second team hooks and pulls a steel security door, clears a short hallway, and pins hands near a kitchen sink. A digital forensics crew ghosts in behind them. They image a laptop on site, freezing the drive and cloning it byte for byte while the clock is still at 04 something. Alias templates sit in a folder next to court docket pages, edits showing timestamps that mirror suspicious bond approvals. That's where process matters. Parallel construction keeps sensitive sources out of the trial chain. Clean team protocols wall off agents who see raw intelligence from the investigators who build the prosecutable case, so the evidence stays admissible across districts. Northern Minnesota feels different. No sirens, snowpack crunch and short radio bursts. Flashbangs arc over porch railings. Outbuildings blow on hinges. A cold room hides cash inside drywall bays, bundles stacked like insulation. Long guns lean with fresh oil and filed cereals, the kind of prep you see when a cabin is both a layover and an armory. Power's been mapped in advance to avoid sudden outages that tip hands. Teams clear, mark, and hand scenes to evidence techs who move as fast as the entries did. By sunrise, ledgers talk. The names behind them surface in the crosschecks. Khalif Nurelme, a sitting judge, and Hodan Elanur, an immigration and criminal defense attorney. Investigators frame them as architects of a pipeline that blended false identities, debt pressure, and protection threaded through city systems. The theory isn't subtle. Delay a subpoena here, reroute a bond there, cushion a search long enough for product and people to slide to the next stop.